Generations Bank has been serving the financial needs of the Finger Lakes region since 1870. Generations combines the best of modern banking with dedication to the local community. Visit them at mygenbank.com. Generations Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
I am Paul Russo, getting shocked to no end once again by the soundboard. Nick Felice with me as always to encourage me and rattle my cage a little bit.
Yeah, what was that, like 4 weeks ago you got shocked? It was not that long ago.
This time of year it gets brutal for me because I think it's just, you know me, I'm a big shorts guy. I don't like wearing pants, and I'm in long sleeve pants, long socks. A lot of things that get stacked up around here this time of year.
Yeah, luckily I not working today, so I just hopped over in the sweatpants today. Feel comfortable. That's how I want to feel doing a podcast. So
yeah, nice little day off for you. Yeah, until you get another couple days off coming up, anyways. So
yes.
About that, we will discuss a little bit Christmas.
I was gonna bring my Christmas hat and I forgot.
That'll happen. Luckily, we got enough of the Christmas cheer anyway around here a little bit that we've had up for a whole while now. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah, NFL bowl season. We'll talk a little Christmas as well as sprinkling a little bit of the Big Brother Reindeer Games a little bit as well to discuss that. Even though I have not been caught up on.
Neither am I.
That's on me, but we can. I think because we're halfway through from our visual standpoint, we have enough to talk a little bit about it.
We've seen half the show.
Yeah. So. We'll jump into that. NFL, begin there. I think we got to go locally because that ended up being, I think, the bigger headline, at least, of the weekend. Bills just dismantling the Cowboys. I think, we both predicted Buffalo to win last week. I don't know if I fully anticipated that ass whooping, though, to be completely honest. It just looked like Buffalo was, one, more prepared, but two, and I don't know if this is a case of, you play who you play type deal, but they definitely look to be the better, just like the better of the team. This talent was outweighed, I think, in the Bills' advantage. I thought more so than anything, now, 72 hours out from the game, they won the battle in the trenches more than anything else. I mean, I think you saw James Cook just have a field day, and little trivia thing here for you, Nick. You know who got the game ball for the Bills after the game?
I don't.
You don't? James Cook. Or not James Cook, Josh Allen. Josh Allen got the game ball from Sean McDermott.
Interesting.
And then Josh Allen had to go find James Cook.
And he gave it to James Cook?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we had that, and for what it's worth, I mean, the Cowboys, I don't know if it necessarily gets easier against Miami this week, right? But, now they get lucky that Philly loses, right? But the fact of the matter is now they're completely behind the 8 ball because San Fran's now got the leg up. Now we got 3 games left. I don't know if you can – it's weird because, I feel like the Bills could flip the script to get to Miami, even though they're 2 games back. But, I don't feel like Dallas or Philly, for that matter, can get to San Fran in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch San Fran, either one of them. But I think it's more important that they get this 2 seed, though. The Lions are 10-4 as well. Yeah. And you know how important the 2 seed is? Yeah, you get that first home game. If you win division, you get the 3 seed. And you can still get a home game. But more than likely, you're probably going to have to play at Detroit for that semifinal game, unless a bunch of upsets happen. But even upset, they'll play the 1 seed. So that it don't matter. So there's a good chance they could be on the road starting in the divisional round. And that's not a comfortable route to the Super Bowl.
All right.
And so they have to worry about the 2 seed, have to worry about the division. They're both in. They don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, the loser of this division race is going to have to be, most likely, the 5 seed. And have to play, are we still believing in Atlanta? But either way, whoever wins that division is you're going to have to go on the road and still win the game. And if it gets, I know the Saints aren't very good. Saints could lose to anybody. They definitely can't beat anybody, but they could definitely lose to anybody. But if you have to go into the Superdome in the first round of the playoffs, that's not a good look for an Eagles and Cowboys team that are kind of reeling a little bit lately. The whole division is reeling. Even the Giants lost this week. Tommy DeVito magic's over. We can get over that. But Eagles definitely have the better schedule the rest of the way. I think they can win the division. Tough loss against the Seahawks. Great win for the Bills. I mean, that was a huge game for the Bills. I mean, you saw what happened to the Broncos. They lost a tough one. Now they're feeling like at 7-7. Obviously, at 8-6, you're feeling better than 7-7. But at 7-7 in a wild AFC race, Bills are feeling good at 8-6 and could be a scary 6-7 seed if they get in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the tough part with the Bills, right, is the fact that they have to go out and win, right, but they don't control their own destiny. Whereas, you know, the teams above them kind of handle that case. You know, Indy, Houston, that game's not this weekend, so I need to double check. I was pretty sure, but I'm like, wait, I need to and it's not this weekend. So
When is it?
I believe next weekend. I think it's that game, but yeah, the Bills don't have any of the tiebreakers, right? So that puts them behind the 8 ball. It's one of those things where I look at it, and I said it last week, I'll say it again. I kind of view Cleveland as kind of just locked themselves in. I know they aren't locked in to the playoffs, right? But you know they've been at that 5 seed pretty much since week 8.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a big one they had this
right.
week.
Yeah.
Came back.
Hold on, because
That was scary at the end.
poor Darnell Mooney, going to be living in a bit of some infamy, I'd say, in Chicago Bear lore. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The AFC, Baltimore's the only team that's clinched right now. San Fran, Dallas, and Philly have all clinched. In the NFC, to the point that San Fran's already got the division, which pretty telling.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, kind of tough. It's weird because the West, it's not like they're bad, right? But the Rams and Seahawks have had different stuff happen all year.
Washington got eliminated.
Yep, your Giants could be eliminated this weekend, possibly. So,
What are we still doing alive?
but it's interesting because Tampa Bay's technically in the 4th spot as the NFC South representative right now,
Yeah.
and that's a team that big win in Green Bay this past weekend, and they got Jacksonville this weekend, so a little Florida battle. But yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. We finally have the conclusion of the when is Brandon Staley going to get fired saga.
That was a great game.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. Not the word I would go for, but I'll allow you to have it.
Giving up 63 points to a Raiders team that didn't score last week. Yeah,
and
good.
franchise record for the Raiders of points in a game.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
But I do have a hot take about it. Well, potential hot
You're a
take.
Staley guy.
Well, no. I don't know if I would have fired him, though, at this point in the season. Because, look, take this from a Washington guy. They kept Ron Rivera on for one distinct reason at this point, and that's just to get the best draft pick possible. To me, you just don't fire a coach right now, especially one that, the team's been quitting around him. Now, I get it in that sense, and it's probably the right move just based on the fact that the Chargers just looked like they did not want to be there last week, right? But with 3 weeks left, if you want to get the best draft pick possible, I keep the tank rolling, you know? Now, not to give away, what picks here when we get to them in a few minutes, but, the Bills come to town, and it's already a bit of a transient type game, right? Bills Mafias will be out in full force in LA, I would assume. But that's still a decent enough Chargers team with enough talent there that they could go out and I wouldn't be surprised if they win, right? Because it's any given, beginning this weekend, any given weekend again in the NFL with Saturday games and multiple Monday games because of Christmas. So.
And a Thursday game.
Yeah.
That's a crazy week.
It's been there though. So. The timing of it's kind of what caught me off guard, admittedly, just based on where we are in the season and what teams sometimes do when coaches get fired.
I think they were going to keep him the whole season. It just, Thursday was a mess.
Yeah.
Like you said, they quit on him. And there's just the ultimate having a little pride in yourself. And, yeah, you want to tank, but you can't go 3 more weeks with this guy as the head coach. So I think it's just that's why it came the next day. It's not surprising it came the next morning he got fired. So, yeah, it happened to be it was time for him to go. We just can't have him here. And, it was a huge question mark at the quarterback position. It wasn't like it was all his fault.
Right.
I mean, that's not a good Chargers team right now. And, yeah, he had to go. It's a very intriguing job. The Panthers one, not so much, especially with the owner, short lease there. But
and the other stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I think it's a very interesting job. The Chargers got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
just made the playoffs. Should have won a playoff game against Jacksonville last year. Blew it. It's L.A. Great stadium. I take it.
I would suppose on paper it's probably number one.
I think their quarterback's a little overrated.
Well, okay. Again, though, I don't want to fully do this debate thing right now, but as somebody who's lived through it,
he's potential, but he has not really shown a lot.
I mean, I don't disagree. Okay, I don't disagree, but life sucks without even an average quarterback. I can tell you that much.
What do you know?
Huh?
What do you know about an average quarterback?
I miss Kirk Cousins incredibly still to this day. So,
you would take the job though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine it's probably the number one job.
Belichick?
I don't know how much I buy into him taking another job, to be completely honest.
I think he's retiring.
Yeah, I think he's at the point where I think he's ready to. If he's done with New England, I think he's done. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if he took that job. I'd be surprised if he took any job, right? I don't want to make it sound like it's whatever, but he's 70? Is he 71? Might be older than that, actually.
He's definitely in the 70s.
But, yeah, I just have a hard time believing that he would take another job at this point. Just, especially that one, in theory, you're literally moving across coast. I don't think. I mean, the furthest west he's been coaching-wise, I guess, would have to be Cleveland, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, I can't imagine him taking that job. I can't. Maybe.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh's the one that apparently is gaining steam here over the course of the past 24 hours, actually.
Really?
I guess the Chargers have been in touch with his people. Don't know if there's quite mutual interest, but I don't think it's a secret Harbaugh wants to get back to the NFL.
I think he's going to let this playoff play out first.
Well, correct. What I'm saying is I don't think it's a secret he wants to get back. Is what I'm getting at.
They don't wait too long to get these head coaches, though.
Right.
So it'd be intriguing if he takes. I would assume he would finish out his Michigan tenure, but he hasn't even gotten the job. So let's not jump too far ahead. But
well, the beauty about the playoff this year that works well with the long season of the NFL, championship game is the Monday after the final week.
Oh, really?
Final regular season week.
Oh, really?
Of the NFL. Yeah, I think that final Sunday is the 8th. I think the championship game is the 9th or whatever that Monday is. So, yeah, I mean, if they make it, in theory,
it's true.
Which luckily that will be previewed within, I believe, our next podcast. Right? Yes, correct. So we'll get to that next week, more or less. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know he's been linked to the Bears job.
Yeah, that's
the Charger thing was really gained momentum. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden Nick Saban, even though they're playing Michigan, was talking very much in favor of Jim Harbaugh and the Harbaugh family as a collective unit. I think that is a guy knowing his reach and extending an olive branch for a coach that might need a little assistance here across the finish line, if you will. So, something to keep an eye on, Other than that, in the NFL, is there anything really else to really kind of touch on?
On the flip side, the Eagles' loss is definitely the Seahawks getting a big win.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they would have been, 6-8? Now they're 7-7.
Yeah.
And they got a favorable schedule down the stretch. And the Rams, my brother was telling me this since he's a Seahawks fan, the Rams play the Saints coming up, I'm pretty sure. And those are two teams that are also 7-7. So you get the loser of that. Maybe a Minnesota loss, and Seattle can win out, and they're in.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, right? I mean, the Rams look to be pretty much in control of Washington game on Sunday, and next thing you know, Jacoby Brissett gets swapped in and kind of leads a late charge by the Mandos. So, yeah, who knows? Mitch Trubisky got benched officially. I feel like more of that could probably be brought up a little bit when we do our picks, but yeah, Pittsburgh. Again, that's another team that now they're behind these 8-6 teams in the AFC. But even then, that was a team I never really could take seriously.
No, I mean, I always say I like Mike Tomlin, great coach, but 500 football is not Steelers football.
Overrated coach.
You think overrated?
I've said that for a while.
I think I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so I have a little love towards the Steelers, not too much, but
They're gross.
so I think he's a great coach. I just think 500 football is not going to cut it. So his tenure as the head coach of the Steelers, I don't know. I think it might be coming to an end here soon.
It's wild because I brought that up actually like 2 or 3 years ago when kind of like the loss of the locker room kind of happened that first time through when you had the Le'Veon Bell stuff going on, Antonio Brown, the Ben Roethlisberger kind of acting on his own type thing. I'm like, this is a guy who looks like he's lost the locker room after a ton of years, and sometimes that just happens with these legendary coaches, right? And Tomlin's done a lot of good in his career, obviously, but
I mean, how long ago was that Super Bowl?
oh, that last one?
Yeah.
Jeez, 21.
12 years ago?
Well,
What Super Bowl was coming up? 58?
something like that. It's crazy. Yeah. No, 57. Wait.
50 was in
Is
2016.
this 57?
57.
Yeah.
26. No, 58. Because 50
Oh, yeah.
was in 2016. I'm almost certain.
Yeah.
This is 58.
This is gross.
Jeez. 58.
Yeah. I got nothing really else from the NFL this weekend, to be completely honest.
Tommy Cutlets' the run is
No.
over. I was never a believer in it, but I did enjoy it. It was a good run.
So I got one more week of it.
Kind of saved Brian Dable's job in some way. I don't think he was
I
ever.
don't know about that. That's a bit extreme.
I don't think he was ever gonna get fired, but the rumors of him getting fired have definitely sizzled down over showing that he could coach a little bit here these last few weeks. It's because it's a whole Buffalo Bills, team we got in there now with, the GM, the coach. So I was never going to say he was going to get fired, but there was a lot of rumors that, how New York spreads with its news. And so, yeah, Tommy Cutlets.
Fire him and bring in Sean McDermott? Like,
Tommy Cutlets saved Brian Dable's job.
Yeah.
There's a headline for you.
That's a take. I'm not going to. That's a take. I won't leave it at that. Let's see here. Yeah, let's just hop into our picks for the week because it was an interesting week. I went 10-6, Nick. You went 11-5, which means, for those who may not know, we are officially tied in the season-long standings. 135
Beat you last week?
and 90
I thought it was doing
apiece.
terrible. What'd I go?
11-5.
I didn't get the Chargers one right. I don't think I
We
did.
both did we both picked Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's the quarterback. I think.
Yeah.
Bothered me.
Easton Stick.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. Great game. The first 3 games of last week were all backup quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The first 6 quarterbacks that showed up.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right, Thursday night this week, New Orleans at the Rams. The Rams are 4-point favorites.
Thursday game.
Thursday.
You big Thursday guy.
We're doing this again.
That's the big game. Saints-Rams.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Rams.
Same.
You don't want me to take the lead there.
Huh?
You don't want me to take the lead there. We're tied right now.
Yeah, well, the main issue with that is, like, the Saints, if they ever showed just an ounce of consistency at some point this year, I probably would have been, like, Saints all day, to be honest. Because it's not like the Rams give you much faith down the stretch of a game.
Big
but
Taysom Hill guy?
Saturday, 4:30. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh getting 2 points. Should I begin? I'll do this one. Cincinnati.
Nope. Cincinnati.
You're not on that one, eh?
I like Jake Browning. Steelers.
It's not so much Jake Browning in this game as it is Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I mean, he might go under 500 this year, Tomlin.
I will put him on the hot seat.
Oh, wow.
I know you want me to put Pete Carroll on the hot seat, but I can't. Mike Tomlin's the guy on my hot seat.
Pete Carroll and Mike Tomlin will both never get fired. I think it'd be more of like a Jim Boeheim push.
Oh, gosh. That'd be unfortunate. Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Buffalo at the Chargers. Chargers are 11.5-point dog at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's also indoors.
Right.
Bills players probably gotta love that. It was cold the last game. It's gonna be a pretty warm one. I like the Bills. I don't know if I like the 11.5.
Same in the grand scheme of it, but Buffalo, should handle business pretty easily. Sunday at 1, we get to Christmas Eve football.
Christmas Eve football. Full slate of games too. Red zones that day.
Oh boy, what are we gonna do?
You gotta be committed, man.
I guess so. Indianapolis, the Colts at Atlanta. Atlanta 1-point favorites at home.
Colts at Atlanta.
Yep.
I hate Atlanta, so Colts.
I just physically can't trust Atlanta.
They're still right there.
Indianapolis is the better team. I mean,
Like I said last
I gotta
week.
take the Colts.
Like I said, I think it was last week. What if Atlanta keeps going to the Super Bowl, man?
Gosh, Arthur Smith just keeps surviving. Green Bay at Carolina. Carolina 5-point dogs.
Jeez.
I'm taking Green Bay.
This is on TV.
This is on a TV somewhere. Yes.
You're going to Carolina?
No.
Oh.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay.
So for the folks at home, we are tied in our season standings, and we have matched fixed all the way so far.
We want to remain tied.
Okay, we have Cleveland at Houston. Houston 2.5-point home dogs.
Houston, we got a problem.
Oh, okay.
Loss of Stroud's a problem. I think it's going to cost them a playoff spot. This will get Cleveland in the playoffs, this one right here. Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland as well.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean,
Houston.
yeah.
They had a great year. Lost Stroud.
It's not.
Stroud's playing, though.
I don't want to be
I
that.
think he's back.
He's out this week.
Oh, he is.
They already rolled him out, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's never a good thing when Case Keenum plays the whole game. Then when they need to throw the ball long, they put in Davis Mills. Never a good thing. Never a good thing when that happens.
Cleveland just keeps putting out quarterbacks and they do well.
Yeah. So, all right. Also of note here, I just realized we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. 5 of our 6 picks are all road teams.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
This is interesting. Will the streak continue with this game? As it's Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota 3.5-point underdogs.
I like the Vikings in this game.
Why, Nick?
Home. You scared me with all the road picks. But
It's a good point.
it's a must-win for Vikings, I feel like. They got to beat the Lions. And they played them twice in the last 3 weeks here. They got to win the home one. And they're not terrible. Who's their quarterback?
Vikings?
Mullins?
Nick Mullins.
Yeah, I have a hunch.
Okay.
That's all. That's my analysis there. I got a hunch.
I'll take Detroit.
I got a hunch.
I think, we talk about locking up playoff spots. I think this might be the weekend for Detroit.
Win the division for the first time since the 60s.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's happening. All right, we have Washington at the Jets. The Jets are 3-point home favorites.
Is this on the same channel as Green Bay, Carolina?
Probably, because you want to know what I'm doing here? I'm taking the Jets. Oh, you're not doing it here. Okay.
Why,
Okay,
Paul?
I guess you
A
are
little
doing
delayed.
it.
I had to think about it.
Well, I've done nothing but pick road teams. No. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess maybe in the grand scheme of it, it's probably not great, but, this gives me the vibes of, oh, neat, final score, 6-3. And,
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a 0-0 tie.
Ugly game. But I think this is me just selfishly, too, just hoping that Washington gets his best draft pick as possible at this point. So
Washington, I can confidently say Washington wins this game 10-9.
wow. I'll give you a bonus game in the bag if you actually get the score right. I'm going down 10-9 next to that score, by the way. for that. If you get the score right on that one, I'm giving you a bonus point.
Really?
Yes.
All right, 10-9.
But if you lose, Seattle at Tennessee to round out the early window. Tennessee 2.5-point home underdogs.
Is Vrabel on the hot seat?
I don't think so.
I hope not. I like him, but Seattle needs this game. Going Seattle.
Yep, I guess I return to taking the road team as well.
In Nashville.
Giving the Seahawks. Short week though, coming to the East Coast on a short week for them.
On Christmas Eve.
Yep. They'll be home for Christmas.
Good, I was worried.
3 games in the late window on Sunday. First at 4:05, Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay a 1-point favorite at home.
Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Jacksonville has not been playing well.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay here.
Is that your favorite part of Florida?
Huh?
Jacksonville, your favorite part of Florida?
I'm a big Tampa Bay guy.
Big Orlando guy. Why is there not a football team there?
That's a good question. Yeah, they do have a football team. UCF, baby. The Golden Knights.
They're
Probably the Citronauts.
Their what was it? AAF team.
AAF team, yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's the second time in 2 days the AAF's been brought up to me.
Really?
Yeah. And I gotta be honest with you, up until yesterday, I completely forgot about its existence. I'm taking Tampa Bay, though. I just think they're I don't even know if they're necessarily the better team right now, but, like, Jacksonville the past few weeks, man, I don't know. I thought they'd put up a really better showing against Baltimore, and they did not.
They need this one. I'm taking the Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars.
All right.
Battle Florida. With Miami.
It's a weird. Well, it's funny you bring them up because they aren't the next game in the 4:25 window. It's Arizona at Chicago.
Is this on the channel too?
Chicago is a 4-point favorite. I'm going to take the Cardinals here.
I know he doesn't play on the Cardinals anymore, but maybe I thought Josh Dobbs had a short lease with Minnesota. Why is he not the starter anymore?
Yeah. I don't know.
That kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
But Arizona's stupid to let him go, so I'm going Chicago.
So we finally have picks going against each other here.
I like Arizona. You like Kyler?
Yeah.
I like Kingsbury.
Yeah, I just think they're
He's
off.
still there?
No. I forget who that coach is there.
Oh.
This past coaching stuff got a lot of, like, no-name guys, in my opinion.
So you don't know anything about the Eagles, neither do I. The Eagles coach, I think, is the Cardinals, and the Colts coach. And I don't know their names.
Yeah.
Steichen?
But I know who Big Dom is.
Big Dom, yeah.
He was officially banned from the sideline. Dallas at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are a 1.5 favorite.
Better weather, but it ain't happening again. It's happening again.
Oh, I was about to say, this is...
It's better weather, but it's the same result will happen, is what I'm trying to say. Miami wins this game. And put me down for 31-6.
Okay. Interesting. I'm taking Miami as well. I think this is a big put-up or shut-up game, actually, for Miami. They got that lingering, they can't beat good teams.
It's true.
Blah blah blah.
It would be only fitting that their one good team is the Cowboys.
Right. So
makes the question: are they good?
Speaking of, are they good? New England at Denver. Denver 6.5-point favorites at home.
Imagine if that channel had quadruple header. It was those 4 terrible games.
Right.
And it ended with this one. Take it, Denver.
Same.
They're home, right?
Christmas Eve at home. Snow could be falling at Mile High.
Could be sunny.
It's Christmas time. I'm going to stop there before I kill people. And
You got a great voice.
And get a copyright strike. All right, Christmas Day at 1 p.m. on Monday. The Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 10-point favorites.
No. Going to be. Knicks might be blown out by the Bucks by that time at 1 o'clock.
It's brutal.
Where's this game?
It's in Kansas City.
At Arrowhead. I'm going to take Kansas City.
Yeah, same. All right, the 4:30 game. Giants at the Eagles. The Eagles are 12-point favorites.
Give me the G-Men. They don't know how to tank, man. Give me the G-Men in this game.
I think the Eagles need a win. They're going to get it, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Nick. Feel
Yeah,
bad. Tommy,
Take the point.
I feel bad Tommy Cutlets getting presumably knocked off. So I'm sorry.
Giants don't have great offense, but they got enough to win that game.
And then finally, Monday Night Football on Christmas.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was a triple header that day.
Baltimore at San Fran.
That's the game.
San Fran is 5-point favorites.
It took us forever to finally get to this game. It's a great game. Probably the 2 number 1 seeds. Super Bowl preview. Was a Super Bowl blackout game. Was a hard bog bowl. It's a rivalry that's been going on for a while. It's a rivalry people don't talk about. I'm taking the Niners because they're the best team in the league.
Same. I won't be surprised though if excuse me, if Baltimore does cover that 5 though.
Yeah, no. 5 points a lot.
Yeah, so especially in that game. Is it a rivalry game though?
It's becoming, isn't it?
I'm just asking.
They had a Super Bowl. The Hardbog's coach there.
Just because they have a Super Bowl doesn't make the Bengals and Rams rivals. You know?
But right now they're the number 1 seeds.
I guess. I don't know.
Nah, it's not a rivalry, but it should be.
All right, let's
let's talk about the Roca Patone.
the Boca Raton Bowl 1. We'll get to that in a second. College football though, been an interesting week. As we record, it's still early signing day. It's 3:05 right now. I haven't seen any crazy news. I know there's been some flips and stuff like that, but so my Syracuse Orange are climbing up the rankings a little bit. Nick, your Notre Dame Fighting Irish settled into the top.
Is that what today's signing day?
Early signing day.
Notre Dame football Instagram keeps blowing up my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Well, Notre Dame currently sits, I believe, last night. I know they're in the top 10. I believe they're like 7 or 8.
Syracuse is like
last
40th.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's always stuff like this, and it's pretty interesting. 'Cause I've actually gotten a couple texts from a couple different people, like, this day means kind of like nothing. Like, what's the point of it? It's just early signing day. This is when those higher-end prospects sign on so they can begin classwork in January, so they can be with the team in the spring, stuff like that. You know, whether or not all of them actually come up to be that way, nobody actually knows. Okay, so start there. But yeah, pretty interesting. Georgia's got the number 1 recruiting class again right now. The rich get richer type scenario at the moment, but that's typically the way it is for college football.
Who's number 2?
Is it Alabama?
Could be.
Alabama or Ohio State. I don't know, either way. I haven't looked in a couple hours, actually. So, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's funny because we're in the middle of bowl season, end of the season. We got this stuff going on, and coaches on the moves, players on the moves in the transfer portal. It's hectic, it's chaotic, it's all that stuff. So that's where that stands right now. Bowl season hasn't been any too much chaos unless you count the famous Toastery Bowl, which I was, first off, ESPN turning away from that game in a crucial 3rd down in overtime to give us 2 hours of pregame for Monday Night Football.
They turned away from the game?
Yes.
Wow.
They moved it abruptly from ESPN to ESPN2 on a 3rd down in overtime. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And furthermore, that game, the bowl itself, is one that ESPN pays for, like on their own, out of pocket to have. Like,
what are they doing?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Who is it? Who's the game?
Famous Toastery Bowl. It was the Old Dominion Monarchs of the Sun Belt against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers of the CUSA.
Who won?
The Toppers in overtime, baby, overcame a 28-7 deficit.
Wow.
To win in overtime. How about that? Toppers, Nick. Toppers.
So is that why there's no bowl games today?
No bowl games today, yeah.
Is that why today's the
I
second
don't
day?
know why there's no
Could be.
admittedly. They got games next week on Wednesday. I know that.
Syracuse the only game tomorrow?
Yes, only bowl game tomorrow.
What time is that?
8. Basketball game is at 5 now. I'm going to the basketball game.
You were going.
Yeah, the game was initially at 7, moved to 5, so because of the bowl game.
Playing Niagara.
Niagara, the Purple Eagles.
Greg Paulus.
Head coach. Yeah.
Lost to Notre Dame in the opener. Who just got beat by the Citadel by 20 last night.
By the way, I know we're talking college football here, but Shrewsbury, ooh, you know, I don't know if it takes a lot to get him mad, but he was a bit perturbed at some of your players yesterday. I can tell you that.
I didn't see the post game.
Yeah.
He was mad.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
He more or less said if you don't want to actually play, like he has no problem helping you to get to the transfer
I watched
portal.
a little bit of the game. So bad, they were getting crushed.
Yeah.
And they had some different guys out there.
Mhm. Yeah, he went to like deep in the bench to I think send a message.
Yeah,
And
I saw some guys that hadn't been playing all year.
I would put it this way. I would hope message received because the way he was talking post game it's pretty damning of some of these guys.
At home
Yeah.
to get blown out by the Citadel. Need to remind you, I didn't even know this guy, this Elijah Morgan guy. I watched a little bit of it. Was a walk-on at Notre Dame, and he was leading scorer for the Citadel.
Oof.
That's embarrassing. He was like one of the leading scorers. I don't know if he finished the top scorer, but that's embarrassing. That was an embarrassing loss yesterday.
Yeah, so I know it's tough for you, but what are you gonna do? We did have one coaching hire technically occur within the past week. Officially, James Madison hired Bob Chesney from Holy Cross. That was the name that Syracuse was linked up with. Kurt Signetti now up in Indiana, so James Madison finding their new coach, really good hire. I think it continues on the legacy that Signetti has started there, admittedly, and hopefully they keep going.
But
in the Sun Belt.
the new Syracuse coach, though, seems like he's a great recruiter, though.
Graham Brown's killing it, dude. Killing it.
I think
Yeah, the fact we got players coming down as their final choices between like, oh, Florida State, Alabama, and Syracuse. I'm like, oh shit, yo. Yeah, it's wild.
And have we had a show since Common McCord?
We have not. We have not.
But what do we wait for? Let's hear your thoughts. A Common McCord.
Love it. Now I know I mocked him, but here's the thing you have to understand. Ohio State fans are beyond spoiled. Okay, Kyle McCord is a great quarterback, but you're comparing him to C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins. He can't do the things that those guys did, and he still had a great year this year. The fact that they were blaming him outright on the Michigan loss is asinine. And to me, I think it's more indicative of Ryan Day, who just like was kind of thinking about making a quarterback switch. It kind of felt like he was forcing McCord out more than anything else. So you want to know what? Good for him. I think people forget too that like Syracuse offered McCord anyway in high school. Like it's not like it's not like Syracuse and him weren't on each other's radars before. Like it's kind of wild to me all of a sudden the dialogue around Syracuse being like, oh, and look, I get it. We aren't like a great Power 5, but like it's really weird how the dialogue is kind of shifted around here given what we kind of know is going on recruiting now. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is in that sense, but in the grand scheme of it, I like it. It's a 1 year, obviously it's a 1 year deal. It only has 1 year of eligibility left, and that's all right. I think it's going to work out better than the Greg Paulus thing. But, look, at the end of the day, you can go out and recruit and get a good quarterback to come in behind him now. You know that this is a guy who can elevate that offense as long as you got that line figured out in front of him. And based on the early indications from signing day right now and the transfer portal, looking pretty good on that front.
Is Fran Brown or Kyle McCord going to be at the game tomorrow?
Oh, the basketball game?
No, the football game.
Oh, Fran Brown might be in attendance in like a box as like a fan, quasi fan. I don't know if McCord technically can be there. I think it's a team by team basis on the old team of where they've gone before. I know the Toastery Bowl, for example, Old Dominion did not allow any transferring out players even to watch the game. Western Kentucky allowed players if they were transferring to play no matter what. So it's a team-by-team thing.
Yeah.
I don't know Ohio State's rules. They're a weird school. They think that they can trademark the word "the," so
Yeah.
that's what it is.
The Syracuse Orange.
So the Gannon University, the Keuka College. So either way, it's great though. I mean, when was the last time Syracuse football was
In the
making
news.
headlines like this, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
great.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the team. Wasn't huge on McCord this season, but for Syracuse, it's a great ad.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring some hype around the team next year, him and the coach, and they're not done. So I think Syracuse is going to be the most hyped up football season in a while next year.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it definitely makes renewing the tickets a lot easier.
Where's Dino? What's he doing?
Hanging out in Manlius? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, let me roll with my picks here for the bowl
How many
game.
bowl games we got this week?
I believe I counted 12 between now and next podcast. Now, there's a bit of an issue. Next week, there's a bowl game at 2 o'clock right before we go live. So I'm going to hold that until next week, technically. I promise, Scout's oath, I will not cheat. So, yeah, it wasn't great. Well, I went 4-5 last week. So if you actually bet, you would have made money last week on my picks. Main issue is, for the overall record, it puts me to 47, 47, and 2.
47, 47,
on the
2.
year. So,
Oh, wow, a lot of pressure here.
either way, not to be that guy, you would definitely be making money, though, at least.
These are hard, though, because you're
And you don't know. I mean, that's
spreads.
the key thing, too, with these. You don't know who's going to be where. And that I'd say I had to take that into account with these bowl games in particular. There's more in this block of games than the previous ones from this past week, where there's transfers and other injuries and stuff like that going on that you had to take into account. So
Let's start with Syracuse.
you had the Boca Raton Bowl, South Florida not at Syracuse versus Syracuse. I'm taking Syracuse -3.
Of course.
Tough not to. I got to pull from there. But even then, I think Syracuse, they're not losing a ton in terms of transfers. I know South Florida isn't either. At that point, you just kind of got to go head-to-head. And I think
the quarterback?
Syracuse has the edge. So, yeah, so it's interesting.
What's happened to Schrader? He graduating?
Yes. Well, no matter what, yes. But he's getting shoulder surgery. And his main concern was playing that last game to ensure a bowl game was occurring. So, yeah. I'm on Syracuse side. I just think head-to-head they got.
Who's their quarterback?
I mean, I think you're going to see Dan Valeri under center, the tight end. So, yeah, I don't know. Been pretty quiet, though. The Gasparilla Bowl, Georgia Tech versus Central Florida. I'm taking Georgia Tech +5. They're a case here where they aren't losing some players to the portal. UCF actually has a few players into the portal already. Again, don't know officially their status, but I think GT +5 anyways a solid play there.
So you don't like Central Florida. You don't like South Florida. Do you like North Florida?
North Florida is a Division II school for football, so we'll get to that next year because that playoff is over. The Birmingham Bowl, Troy versus Duke. I'm going to take Troy -7.5. Duke has guys in the portal left and right now because Elko is now the head coach at A&M. So, God, if they still had a couple players hanging around, that'd be a lot more of an interesting game. But we'll have a Sun Belt team beat an ACC team there, I'd say. The Camellia Bowl, Arkansas State -3 versus Northern Illinois, taking Arkansas State. Going to see a common theme here amongst these rest of the MAC teams the rest of the way with my picks, unfortunately. Armed Forces Bowl, James Madison versus Air Force. I'm taking the Dukes -2, obviously minus Signetti, but Air Force struggled down the stretch. Madison, on the other hand, did not. So I'm going to take James Madison.
Where is that game?
Armed Forces Bowl, I believe that one is in Texas. Yeah, so. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, one of my favorites, Georgia State versus Utah State. I'm taking Utah State -2.5. I know Georgia State's already probably out there prepping, but it's more of the issue of climate and how much they're just used to that period, so I'm going to take Utah State. The 68 Ventures Bowl, which I can't remember what bowl that was previously, admittedly. South Alabama versus Eastern Michigan. I'm taking South Alabama -17.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do those teams get matched up in a bowl?
I don't know.
If it's that big of a spread.
It's about the conferences you play with and stuff like that. Yeah. The Las Vegas Bowl, Utah versus Northwestern. I'm taking Utah -6.5. Though Northwestern's turned out to be a really great, surprising team this year. But we'll stick with the Utes and Cal Willingham. The Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina against San Jose State University.
Christmas Eve?
Not anymore.
What?
Saturday night.
Are you kidding me? I look forward to that every
No
Christmas.
bowls on Christmas Eve or Christmas this year.
Because the NFL.
Hawaii, yes, the Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina, and San Jose State. I'm taking San Jose State minus 10.5.
Jesus.
Coastal Carolina got pillaged in the portal already. I know Grayson McCall's already out. He's going to NC State now. So, yeah, I think the Spartans of San Jose State are the easy pick there. Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. Bowling Green State versus Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota minus 3.5. The only 5-win team in the bowl games this year, Minnesota. But again, another MAC team. They just haven't done well in the bowl games recently. So until proven otherwise, I got to fade. Excuse me. The First Responders Bowl, Texas State against Rice, Battle of Texas teams. We'll take Texas State minus 5.5 there. Rice, JT Daniels is healthy. Might be a different story, but he's not retired, obviously, already. So go with the Bobcats. And then the last one on Tuesday next week before we return, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas versus UNLV. This was formerly whatever bowl is held in Phoenix there. I don't know.
Sun Bowl?
No, not the Sun Bowl. The Sun Bowl is one of the more. We'll get to that next week. I'm taking UNLV plus 12.5 in that game. Kansas dinged up injury-wise, so I'll take the Rebs, who have played really well down the stretch, and not ask for any questions until after.
So next week you're doing the playoff.
Yeah, next week we'll have playoff and the rest of them, yeah. So I love bowl madness. I love bowl season. It's the best.
Bowl mania.
Bowl mania.
Get it right.
Whatever. It's also bowl season. In fact, they market it as bowl season now. So,
Really?
Yep. All right, before we got our Christmas stuff, I mean, obviously, merry and bright and stuff like that. Let's start, though, with Big Brother Reindeer Games. So, like we said, we aren't fully caught up, but we did see all of the first week last week. Really like the concept, to be completely honest. I think obviously they probably could do this any time of year and just tie in a theme. This happened that this was Christmas-oriented.
Yes.
But I really do like how it's more just comp-based in that sense. We're kind of seeing, to me anyway, a little bit more of a, I'd say an actual game being played, in a sense. Outside of maybe the first episode to a degree, which kind of seemed like they were just being up on the rookie,
Yes.
to be fair.
Our guy Cameron.
Yep. So, but other than that, job well done. I mean, obviously, the only reason why this is here is because of the writer's strike, and now
Yes.
and
That's the obvious
everything,
part.
but yeah, I'm impressed. I wouldn't hate if they did this maybe like every other year type thing. You know, just get a few of them together, do some comps. You know, pay out. You know, I know they're doing $100,000, but you know, I'm sure someone would come back for like $50,000 or something like that just to play.
Yeah, it's just nice to see some Big Brother, legends, and in quotes. Some of them are. Some of them,
Who's not?
Even our guy Cameron, I don't really put the term legend on him.
Cameron.
But yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I don't think anyone did coming in. And yes, it's mostly on challenges and competitions. You can't go home unless you lose a competition, and then you have to win other competitions to get advantages, and to also get the power to send people into an elimination competition. But it's also it's not just competition. It's also got some Big Brothers definitely strategizing.
Oh, yeah.
That last episode we watched, the third episode, was pretty good. I thought it was pretty cool. It's you send in someone in to do a competition, and they had to do it in a certain amount of time. It started with a pretty significant amount of time, so it was pretty easy. So you kind of send your friends in first before your enemies. And we saw a lot of stress and drama and strategy being played inside the house during that final competition. So that was pretty cool. So I don't know if it'll be back. I think it's just killing airtime.
Well, I just meant I wouldn't mind seeing it come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it either.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little longer.
Maybe not like every year type thing, but every now and then if they were to sprinkle it, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, maybe you see something at the beginning of summer.
Right.
Summer games.
Yeah.
Instead of Reindeer Games.
Beach party.
But it's not just competitions. I wish Julie Chen was in it, kind of. And
she might be, for all we know, tomorrow.
yeah, it's true. But they do. It's not just competitions. It's got Big Brother to it as well. So there's just no voting people out and stuff like that. So overall, pretty cool. Definitely something to watch before the holidays here, and it wraps up tomorrow night. So we got to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that, but we'll figure out a way. Because tomorrow, like I said, I'm on the Syracuse game, so I'll be traveling back from the game. It's going to be whatever. Either way, we'll make it work. Maybe someone tonight, maybe?
Survivor night.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll figure out a way to watch it before tomorrow, the finale. Maybe it might just have to be an on our own type deal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an on our own.
Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up this image. It's just a grill. It's just a greasy stove.
Can't see your hands off.
Hand sanitizer, kids. Yeah, let's get back to more Christmas stuff here quick before we head out. I don't know what movie we're seeing yet this year. I think there's a couple choices I think on the table, admittedly.
I thought we were going to do a vote. And whoever we rank our movies, we all have a movie.
Oh.
And we rank them. And whatever one has the most points is the movie we're going to go see.
Okay.
So you want to see Ferrari?
Well, yeah, but I think that's a movie that, it's tough.
Your brother is a voter.
It's tough.
Actually, doesn't he work on Christmas?
I don't know what he's got going on. No. It's tough, though, because, you guys really enjoyed Ford versus Ferrari, and that had racing as its backbone, but it was
I did enjoy that movie.
But it was much more than, racing, whereas I feel like when people see Ferrari, they're probably just like, oh, it's a racing. It's not quite true. I mean...
So
it's more of the life.
Same origins of that movie?
No. This one's more of the bio history of Enzo Ferrari.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
That's out right now.
No, it debuts on Christmas.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
What about, can I interest you in the animated one?
Animated.
Migration?
No, I'm not doing that one. Sorry, I just can't.
Wonka?
No. The one I hope is still out. Is it The Holdouts? I might be getting the name wrong.
Pat did want to watch Hunger Games.
I'm not doing the Hunger Games. That would be below migration for me personally. No, it's the movie Holdouts with Paul Giamatti.
I have to look at the movies. I actually have no idea.
I can't remember
right now.
I can't remember the exact name. They only had a few showings earlier this past weekend when I went to go see with Matt Godzilla -1, which was really good. Really good.
It was really good. From Matt.
Yes, really good. 9.5 out of 10 for me personally. So.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's in Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah, subtitles, sad subtitles.
Wow.
Really good though.
I don't know how I feel about that. Reading the whole.
You wouldn't really. Wouldn't bother you by the end of it. Trust me.
Right.
Trust me on that. Okay. Yeah, I think end on this note here. What's your favorite thing coming up here for Christmas? Favorite tradition?
I honestly like Christmas Eve more than Christmas. Big Christmas Eve guy. Having some family over. Be cool. Big Christmas Eve guy. That's on Saturday. The Christmas on Monday is weird. It really is. I want to say this in something that won't offend people about this weekend, but it kind of dampers the weekend when it's on a Monday. It kind of it's not really a weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I don't know. I don't care for it on a Monday, and especially just the idea of Christmas on a Monday. Not a fan. I personally, let's put it on Friday every year. I think Friday would be a great day.
That's how that works.
I say we put it on Friday. Then you have Saturday after and Sunday.
Plus Thursday for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and then Wednesday for Christmas Eve. I mean, it's a great week.
Oh my God!
Monday, I'm just not a fan. But what was the question?
Favorite thing, favorite tradition. I get the sense your favorite tradition just might be complaining about when Christmas falls.
Yeah, why does Thanksgiving get its own day?
It doesn't.
I thought Christmas was the go. I really thought Christmas was the go holiday, and it doesn't even get to pick what day.
It's not even your go holiday. You just said it as much.
It's not. Probably going New Year's Eve, number one.
Oh my God.
And then 4th of July too. And Christmas? Maybe Christmas Eve. I'm an Eve guy. Thanksgiving Eve, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve,
holiday.
Halloween Eve. I mean, it's just great, great Eves.
My favorite holiday is Leif Erikson Eve Day. What the hell does any of that mean?
I mean, Christmas Eve is definitely the go of the Eves because it has a Christmas Eve. So, but anyway, my favorite thing about Christmas is probably Obviously, it's the New York Knicks. They need to be playing at noon every single Christmas day. I love that. I like when football's on, so that's the plus side of having it on a Monday, I guess. But yeah. So the TV's good. I look forward to our movie every Christmas night, and just hanging around with the family.
Yeah, I enjoy it. The family element of it. Christmas Eve is always fun because, like, at least now as like we've gotten older, it's kind of more loose in my mind. Like, I don't know, in that sense, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes.
like,
There shouldn't be too much stress.
yeah, I think as a kid, like there's still like the element of like, I don't know.
It
I
kind
think,
of
I think you just view it through a different lens as you're younger.
Yeah.
I guess in a sense.
it comes and it goes. It's kind of like
But like, yeah, for me,
Oh,
I'm kind of like you. I think I enjoy Christmas Eve more than Christmas itself.
yeah.
But like collectively through the two days, it's just fun. You get to talk with family and see family. Sometimes you only usually see a couple times a year if you're lucky anyway with that sense. And no, for me anyway, like I know you guys know, but like you and Matt are my brothers as well in this situation, so I enjoy getting out with you guys, and we're able to
Right
at
back.
least spend a couple hours together, in darkness and seclusion. But no, it's fun. I mean, like we saw Endgame. That was one of the last movies I think in theaters I saw before the pandemic, if I remember right. Was that Christmas night Endgame movie where we got literally the final, I think, 4 seats in the IMAX theater. So
Yeah, it was sick.
yeah, so yeah, I think it's just kind of the general thing. But my go holidays is definitely Leif Erikson.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I think 4th of July for me. I'm a big summer guy. We know that.
I'm a huge summer guy.
yeah,
I can't. It's the worst part about. I love Christmas and I love New Year's, but I hate January.
The worst.
I
That's
hate
that's
January.
the worst part about not even so much Christmas for me because like you have that week, but like you get out of New Year's and January drags. Like
It's a
just
long
drags.
month.
Yeah. So
I swear, there's 50 days in that month.
feels like it.
Luckily, we
Thanks,
get a little.
February for having 28.
29, I think, next year.
Oh, it is 29 because it's a leap year. That's right.
Screw you, February. And then March sometimes is terrible. At least Madness. When March Madness gets here, I'm like, okay, we're feeling good. Feeling confident.
At least like when mid-February comes around, you at least get, you got baseball starting up again, you got NASCAR starting up again, you get some of the warmer sports kind of going again. And at that point, too, not to kind of dunk on it, right? But like at least with football, you have the Super Bowl right there, too, now.
Yes, that helps.
Hockey's already usually at a fever pitch at that point, but you're post-All-Star break there. NBA, you're at the All-Star break, and at least the players usually give a shit at that point.
Yeah,
So,
true.
yeah, it's not bad. I think like right about that February 15th is where, it kind of turns a little bit, But I do agree. There are certain times where March does drag. Cause
February 15th. You don't want to give Valentine's Day a shout out, huh? You don't want to give Valentine's Day.
Love is overrated. So on that note, Nick, who are you shouting out this week?
Well, this isn't my shout out, but shout out to Andrew McCutcheon coming back on a
True.
1-year deal. $5 million.
One more time.
I think so. It'd be interesting what he says. I think he's the type of guy that's not going to have a farewell tour, but
No. Might not have a choice, though.
it's true. But shout out to my sister Samantha, coming home on Friday.
Shout out to Samantha.
Comes home for 6 days a year, so I always look forward to that. And she'll be here on Friday, and she'll be here for 6 days, whenever that is, Thursday.
Thursday or Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so shout out Samantha. See you soon.
So, Nick, on that note, I'll see you anyway, but Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to everybody there.
Yeah, say it to the fans.
That's it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Even though we'll be back
Happy
next
holidays.
week. Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Yep. So, yeah, I guess on that note, we will depart. And I guess we'll see everybody next week. Enjoy the holiday, everybody. Be safe. Have fun. Talk with everybody then.
Is Die Hard